Welcome to the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast with Mike Kincaid and Jake Goebel. Join them as they experience specialty coffee and document their journey. These friends explore roasts and roasting methods, brewing equipment and techniques, and review the cafes they visit along the way.
Thanks, Brioni, and thank you for joining us for episode 98 of the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast. We got a real special surprise for you today. We are joined by a special guest from Press Coffee. Adam Holliefield drives up to Prescott to sit down and talk coffee with us. This time we podcast from the porch. We actually get on location. We actually do it. So there is a little bit of background noise, but I think you're going to enjoy it. And I think you're going to learn as much from Adam as we did. We had a fantastic time. Let's jump in. All right. Well, this is not awkward. Not at all. Not at all. We are here. The sweet voice that you hear right now is the Jake Goebel, but I'm sitting here with two other voices, and they're actually, those voices are connected to people at the same time. I'm sitting here with the Mike Kincaid. Can we get the Mike voice?
Hello.
Hello, Mike.
Hello, everybody.
But that is not enough. It is not enough.
They hear it all the time.
Okay. You can stop talking now, because we don't want to hear what you have to say, Mike, to be real honest with you. What we want to hear.
So true.
We want to hear from the next voice, which is Adam. Why do I always forget your last name? Adam
Holliefield.
Holliefield. There we go. That's not a tough name that's not
hard
simple.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Way to start us off.
Thank you. Wait, I nailed it.
It wasn't awkward until you went there. But
well, that's what I specialize in. I specialize in making things awkward all the time. So, Adam Holliefield is here with us in Prescott, Arizona. Drove all the way up. Okay, that's not entirely true, but he is from Press Coffee down in Phoenix, and I am a huge Press fanboy. But Adam, you had a birthday, and you decided to come kick it up here in Prescott.
Yep, decided to come kick it in Prescott, hit up Orange Cactus Coffee, visit you guys, see what's going on.
I appreciate that. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, of course.
It got awkward quick because we don't have a physical cafe. We're here. Yet. Thank you, Adam. Thank you. So we're kicking it here at the Porch, which we meant to. Was it last week or the week before? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
2 weeks ago, we were supposed to come and podcast.
This was a goal. Yeah.
This was a goal to get into the Porch and podcast live from here. Mm-hmm. But we were unable to do so. You have enabled us.
Yes.
Adam the enabler has enabled us. And I don't want to I don't want to talk too much. Actually, I do, because I love the sound of my own voice. But I'm going to tell myself no for the time being, because Adam, I want to hear about your journey in coffee. Press is not the first place that you've worked.
No.
And like many in coffee, not that there's anything wrong with it, but they take the job as kind of like, well, I'm going to work while I'm going to school. Mm-hmm. I'm going to work for something to do. I'm going to work to get out of the house. I'm going to work because I like the coffee. You have a real passion for coffee.
I do.
All of it, from the beginning to the end, the growing, the harvesting, the finishing. What do we call that?
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. The coffee finishing, and then importing, exporting, and then brewing it up, roasting it, brewing it, serving it. So where do you want to start?
I mean, I'm not too sure. There's a lot to talk about.
What was your first job in coffee?
My first job was at a small mom and pop shop in downtown Gilbert, Arizona.
Yeah.
Called Bergies Coffee Roast House.
Bergies, big shout out to Bergies. They just won an award for best coffee in Arizona.
Did they really?
Best coffee, maybe in Gilbert.
Okay, best coffee, best roaster, something in Gilbert. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
And they're doing a really great job over there. I loved it there. Good people, great place.
What'd you do for them there? What was your primary?
I started out, I knew nothing. I didn't even like coffee, to be honest.
I still don't know anything.
Didn't even like coffee, but I soon got
so
the bug,
it was a job. It was a job at first.
Started out as a job. Got bit by the bug basically. Started cold brew, working my way to lattes.
Yeah.
Through the espresso, landing in drip and pour overs and whatnot. And soon figured out this is a lot more than just a job.
Sure.
So then became good enough friends to let the owners teach me how to roast, so I
nice.
Like a little bit of a roasting experience there. They have a Diedrich that they roast on right in the middle of the shop. It's every single day
How big is it? Do you remember?
It's a 5 kilo.
Okay, nice.
A little bit smaller, but it gets the job done.
Yeah.
Good batch size. They have 15 different coffees.
Oh, wow.
On in the back room at any point in time.
At any given time. Wow. Are they mostly blends, or are they rocking single origins?
Single origins.
Okay.
They do a couple blends, for the for different times throughout the year.
Sure.
And but I got to learn a lot about all the different regions instead of maybe just 5 or 6 coffees. Being exposed to 15 was a big,
huge
intro, and got to learn a lot about each region, what each region might taste like, and qualities that they might have, but also the potential.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Adam's a tough customer. Mike and I thought that the least that we could do is maybe give Adam some coffee for his drive up here to be with us, to hang out with us, to be on the podcast with us. And so I was like, hey, I've got an Ethiopian for you. And he's like, bro, where in Ethiopia is this from? You ain't going to impress me by throwing random country names out there. I want to know the farm. I want to know where it was milled. I want to know the whole 9. And I think that just speaks to his commitment to not just being content with kind of a superficial knowledge of coffee, but going much deeper than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's a huge part. You can say Ethiopia, you can say Guatemala, but this all depends on the region, the elevation,
Absolutely.
The farm, where it was milled, if it was a co-op, if it was done on the farm.
Yeah.
All those things matter.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. That's so true. So from there, how many years did you work there?
So I was there for 2.5 years, and then I was going to start going to ASU.
Sure.
And for supply chain, global logistics.
Nice.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'm just about the global supply chain. And, I'm cool. I'm whatever.
So, and then I wanted to get into specialty as well.
Yeah.
Are you local? Were you born and raised in the Phoenix area?
Gilbert.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
very
so
cool.
It's hard leaving Bergies, but, I saw a lot of potential in the more specialty community.
Yeah.
And a lot of places impressed me. Kind of impressed,
I was there. I was totally there with you.
Yeah.
You were totally impressed by
were?
Press
You got
Coffee.
that?
I'm impressed by Press Coffee as well.
Yes,
I love Press
absolutely.
Coffee. I'm a huge Press fanboy. Mike, you've been there a few times, right?
Oh, yeah, several times.
You love it as well.
Yeah, not as many as you. I haven't been asked to leave like you have.
That's
but
true. That's true.
I can still come back, so I got that going for me.
I've only been kicked out of one press so far. Just one.
Oh, that's good. So what drew you to Press? Did you visit it as a customer and you're like, wow, this is it. This is where I want to be.
When you're in the Phoenix coffee culture, as we call it, there's a lot of buzz around what shops are doing and where they're going. And I feel like Press really fell in line with what I valued. And that was consistency, quality, and growth,
Nice.
And that had all the things, everything in it Press had. So
did you see like a career path for you forward as well, like getting into roasting?
Yeah, they said like this might be a possibility for you, but I really enjoy being a barista, and I feel like I can hone my skills as a barista.
Absolutely.
And dialing in espresso, pour overs, things like that really helps your skills.
You want to do it all.
Yeah.
You want to do it all. You don't want to just be a barista, just be a roaster. You'd like to do it all. Do they have that position? Is that?
Oh, I don't think so.
Not
Press
yet.
is big enough to where it's kind of divided into the wholesale and those guys in the shops. But there's so much communication that goes on that it's almost transparent.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what we need to maybe we reach out to Press and be like, we need an Adam position where, you get to roast one day a week or is maybe 2 days a week, something along those lines, and then get you back on the front lines being a barista. We've talked about that before over the last year, is that the things that you value as an employee is not necessarily just, hey, I want to go do this or I want to make this amount of money. I want to be able to experience all of these things. I want a greater variety. It's one of the things that I tried to champion at the last bank that I worked at. That worked out very well for me. That's why I'm back at this other bank working for Mike again.
Yeah, I think that
they weren't feeling it.
No. Well, I think that's key because if you have individuals that see a career path like yourself, from a job to a career, you're interested.
Yeah.
If you don't provide those opportunities or cross train them or say, hey, let's plug you in a couple times, they might leave, right? They might end up going somewhere else where they need to.
And a lot of the shops around the valley are starting to do that. I have a friend that works at Infusion, and he was a barista.
Nice.
And they needed a roaster position. They want to keep their baristas experienced and updated with what they're doing. And so now he's learning how to roast.
Yeah.
And same with Press. Both of our roasters, they both have been baristas in the past.
Yeah.
They're very connected with the baristas that are in their shop serving the coffee now. And that communication is key, you know, and then the potential for job openings and things like that.
Absolutely. Because I think the one thing we're big on is if you can get your employees to buy into the vision, like you said, you saw what Press was doing, right? And you're like, I'm there. And if they can continue that, they'll keep you for as long as you want to be there.
Exactly.
And that's the key. And if you can maintain that, you're just going to grow an awesome company. So I think that's what we've seen too. And they're growing. They are growing like crazy.
I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of Prescott. Like I said, of all the times that I've been there as a consumer, I've only had one bad experience. And, people have bad days. And it's the same, like the people that you run into, it's almost, they're genuinely, and I don't want to speak out of turn here, but they're genuinely happy to be there, it seems.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like from all the different, because I've been to all the locations. And I think I've been to all the locations more than once.
A few times.
And that's okay. That's
the same day.
I'm not.
We've been to, right?
Yes. We have been to multiple locations in the same day. Yes. But here's the thing. Sometimes you want to check. I don't know. Okay.
You just need a coffee.
Sometimes you just need a coffee.
It's thirsty.
And then you just drive
thirsty. Yeah. Well, this is 40 miles away. I know, but it's worth it. Yeah. It's absolutely worth it.
We got to go. So that's fantastic. So what do you... Talk a little bit more about what you want to do in coffee. You talked about you're going to school for importing and exporting and global supply chain management. What do you hope that turns into, or what are your plans for that?
When I was roasting and as a barista, I've always had a passion for green coffee and where it comes from and the bigger picture. So as a barista, you get to work with all this coffee and it's super fun and whatnot. But I'm really interested in the farms that it's coming from and getting good coffee, from those places, hard to reach places, to the roasters that can really, max out their potential. And that just excites me more than anything. Yeah. So, finding, whether it's finding an importer or staying with Press and importing coffee for them, doing origin trips, going and finding farmers, going and supporting them. That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah. Do you follow at all Tim Wendelboe? You ever heard of Tim? He's someone that he's
Norwegian, isn't he?
Yeah,
Norwegian.
Yeah. But he's got a very interesting story that I think you should definitely look into. He first started out as a barista and pursuing the barista championship, where he ended up losing, which was a big hit to his pride, as he would admit.
Yeah, he makes a very big point of that he had a big ego. He was very cocky, not confident. He was cocky, he had a big ego. Is that where you're going for Adam? Or because that's what it seemed like.
No, I was no. I was trying to think of something snappy to say because
because I always put you on blast.
Well, yeah, you just started talking in the middle of my my thought process. But
I had to.
You always do.
I always
you can't
do.
help it.
Yeah.
No, but the deal with Tim though is he ends up now he owns his own farm in Colombia. He got so interested in where it came from and the quality and the processing. He partnered with a farmer down there, and he just learned what makes good coffee. And what's really cool is he has a YouTube channel you can check out where he's going to the farms and he's actually showing you some hands-on things, like things that I've never thought about, such as compost. How do we make a good compost? And he's taken some classes in farming to make a good compost. I want to say biology. Biochemistry.
Yes.
What is the
biology?
Is it biology?
I don't. Yeah.
I'm looking to you for help, but you're not helping.
I have no idea where you're going. I have no idea.
Well, just the chemical makeup of what produces a good compost.
I would say it like that. The chemical makeup of good coffee. That's what I would say.
It starts with poo.
Yeah, it starts with poo.
That's what it is.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's not awkward. That's good.
It's not.
That's good stuff. That's good radio.
That's not where I wanted to go. You always derail these conversations.
That's where you want to go. You're talking about Tim is an arrogant lover of poop.
What?
That's what I took from that.
That's what you got from that?
Yeah, that's what I got from that.
Well, I don't think that's what I was saying.
Okay, that's not what you were saying. I don't think that's what I think. If I can, I fluster Mike sometimes, but what he's saying is that it was a transitional point for him that changed him from just looking at coffee as something that what it could do for him, he thought about, well, what can he do for coffee and how can he make it better? And there's more to it than just winning championships and going and being the man.
Yeah.
And that has culminated in him being involved in farmers' lives, like you said you wanted to do. Yeah. And I think that was the connection for the story there.
Yes. Yeah, you can just edit my part out and just keep yours in.
No.
Just do that.
So
so all that.
Have you studied foreign languages or any country specifically that have you visited or you want to visit or talk to me about visiting the globe?
Nowadays, you don't necessarily need to know every language to go visit every country because it's all becoming so universal, but obviously it's hard to connect with people if you don't. Yeah. So, working on Spanish and languages like that is definitely part of the process, one of the harder aspects for me, but I'm working on it. And
absolutely. If you could pick right now, if you were to go to a country, you're ready to go, where would you go? Where's stop number
tough.
one?
I mean, right now, I think Colombia is a great region. It's producing a lot of good coffee. You see a lot of, there's a couple specific varietals that grow a lot there, like Caturra and things like that. But you're seeing a lot more experimental fermentation, and I think that's like what's really taken off right now, and experimenting with natural processing and how the time of natural processing and honeys and things like that. And Colombia is starting to get into that. They do a lot of mostly just wet processing because of how the weather conditions are there. But I have seen some more of that come out of the region, and that's really interesting and exciting. And I have a couple friends over there that I could
get you kind of plugged in a little bit.
Have a couch to sleep on.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
That's kind of important. Eat and sleep,
But
that's great.
Coffee's first, I guess.
Coffee first, where we're going to sleep second. Yeah, absolutely. Adam, do you roast at home, or have you thought about home roasters? You looked into any home roasters? I think we promised you a glimpse at the Ileo, and we failed to deliver that as well.
I was kind of disappointed about that. Not to lie, but
no, you can blame that on me.
It is Mike's fault. We do blame Mike for everything, but maybe it will have to be another visit when you don't have. He's got a baby,
a 1-year-old,
I guess.
Yeah, sure,
a baby.
Yeah. We could look at it, but we couldn't run it.
A baby
just the time of day didn't work.
It's challenging. Yeah, challenging to work life around babies. I don't have any babies.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No, but home roasting is super fun and all. I just, in my experience, I want to do it right if I'm going to do it, and I'd want to invest in something good. But right now, I have, I'm able to go and use Press's smaller, sample roaster.
Yeah, the sample roaster they have in there. Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
So
for personal use.
That sounded so druggy. That sounded so incredible druggy. Like Officer Kincaid.
Because that's what everyone was thinking.
Because Officer Kincaid is here.
Excuse me, Adam.
Is this for personal use only?
Not for free reign.
Yeah.
But they're great guys over there. So if I need to roast something up and I found some new good green coffee, I'll take it to them and they'll do that.
And
for
they'll
me.
let you.
They'll work with me on that. So that's fun.
That's very cool. I know that their roaster. I can't remember his name right now.
Well, Will.
Yeah. I had a conversation with Will.
Fantastic.
He said he started at home on a B-more.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I've actually played a lot on a B-more, yeah.
Mikey started at home on the B-more. Still have the B-more.
I love that thing.
And then
it's a great machine.
Upgraded to the Ileo, the Bullet R1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Bullet's really interesting.
It is a great machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I think the thing for us that really drew us with the B-more, I thought it was awesome for someone just starting, right? Because you could just kind of plug and play. Mm-hmm. You really could.
For sure.
And you could just get some coffees, and then you could go to manual mode, start messing with temps. It gave you just enough control, to experience some of the impact that certain things would have on coffee. Mm-hmm. And then after you master that, you're like, okay, I want more control.
I want more.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you go from there.
And that was funny with Will, is when I was talking to him, he said, well, I didn't like the lack of control. I wanted to be able to customize the roasts more.
Sure.
And in the back of my mind, I was like, well, I've got this image of Mike with probes sticking in all over the B-more, the door opening. He's got hot gloves on. He's taking stuff out. He's doing these crazy cooling sequences, things that void the warranty, right? If you can put the B-more on a rack and stretch it out to try and make it do what you want to do, you did that to it, Mikey, which was one option. The other option, like Will said, was that, I'm just going to go roast on a big roaster, a real roaster.
On a ProBat.
It's time to get
12 kilos, 24
it's time to move to a ProBat. It's like, yes, you could do that, or you could be over here, trying to take the sledgehammer and the blowtorch to the B-more.
Yeah, exactly. Fighting with the safety shutoff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was
exactly.
My nemesis.
Yes, I've been there
many times, many roasts.
But B-more doesn't only make home roasters; they also make batch brewers. The B-more Brazen. You've recently had some time to spend with that, Mike, haven't you?
Yeah.
How
what do you mean by that?
How has your week with the B-more Brazen been?
How's my time with the B-more? Well,
yes.
I would love to answer that question, and I will. But I first want to ask Adam a question, and I think this is a question everyone wants to know.
I was going to go round circuitous, but okay, go ahead.
Do you know what it is? Because we can wait. Do you know where I'm going? You know where I'm going?
No.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Are you?
What's that?
I think so.
The question is batch versus pour over.
That's where I was going.
I beat you to it.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
You sure did. But see, I didn't want you to feel excluded. But okay, I don't care about you.
This I'm more interested in this, and then I get to the braid.
Okay, and then we'll get to the Brazen. Okay.
Yeah. So what do you prefer? Because there's kind of a debate in some circles, and then there's no debate in other circles, right? Some say batch is the way to go; it's more consistent. Some say no, pour overs produces a better cup. Why would you compromise and do batch? Where do you fall in that?
So I think
with the Seraphim.
Well, we do have Robot Coffee.
Robot Coffee.
Robot Coffee does a fantastic job.
What do you mean by Robot Coffee?
Seraphim,
Okay.
The Seraphim, we call it.
So it's got the little shower head.
Little shower head. We program it inside Press, and it does a fantastic job.
Do you dial that in?
Except at the one at the North Scottsdale location. That one doesn't work.
Except that one doesn't work.
Okay, perfect.
That robot doesn't work.
We dial ours in probably on a weekly basis. It does a fantastic job. It doesn't, I prefer hand pour any day, but for me, batch brew versus pour overs depends on the coffee.
Okay.
And the shop.
Okay.
The barista. For me, if I was making my own coffee, I would choose a pour over and then break that down into V60, Chemex, Kalita, things like that.
Would you pick the coffee to go with the dripper, or would you do that based on size? Because the V60 and the Chemex, to me, they have a similar. They give you a similar flavor profile, but the Kalita Wave, I will use that for a different type of coffee.
For sure. So I think the Chemex is definitely crisper, more clean, brings out those brighter notes. Kalita, you're going to get more body, more complete cup of coffee. So I recommend that in the shop per bean. So Ethiopia, we had a wash that was really good on Kalita, but I enjoyed the natural on the Chemex. And that was just a preference because I played around on both.
Yeah.
But, if you don't have somebody who knows what they're doing on a pour over, they're going to really screw it up, I think. And that's why batch brew sometimes
you're not alone
in
that.
So if you were running the shop, if you were starting Adam's Coffee Roaster and coffee shop, and you had to be roasting, training, all these different things, does that change your perspective? Or are you just going to make sure your baristas are well trained, but then trying to keep people around? Because I'm sure that Press struggles with turnover as well.
I think every shop.
Like most retail locations do. And so you're having to keep training new people. It gets. I could see how it could get exhausting.
Oh, very tough. So like before I came up to Prescott, I went to Press. I needed a cup of coffee really quick. Batch brew is fantastic. We have the Curtises. They do a great job. As long as you have good water and good ratios dialed in, you can't mess it up.
Yeah. Gotcha.
We've had good batch from Press.
It's solid.
Yeah.
It's like a solid go-to. It's like it's going to always be there for you.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah.
And as long as you get those variables, hammered down as far as your ratios, your water, if you're, making good water, things like that, that's what really messes up batch brew.
I see.
Some people don't have those variables locked down.
Yeah.
And then, but obviously, I still can't go away from the pour over, It just produces such a good fresh cup of coffee right on the spot. You're grinding the beans right there. If from a purist standpoint, you can't say no to that.
Yeah, I'm with you. So do you think also volume of customers in the shop plays into that as well.
Definitely.
Like if you've got a line to the door and then that's, 5 out of 7 days a week, that's your normal. Are you leaning more towards the robots in the batch? Or
That's fantastic. You should phrase that question a little differently, Mike. Okay, if you're working in the morning and it's super busy, line out the door.
Not in the morning.
Somebody
all
walks,
the time.
Okay,
I want this to be the primary.
Okay, whenever.
No, don't rephrase me. He's with me.
There's a line out the door. Somebody walks in and asks for a pour over. Do you go? And there's a line out the door. Do you go? Or do you be like, yeah? What's your response?
Line out the door. It's
line out the door. Yeah,
it is.
It is intimidating. That's why you see shops like Press installing the seraphims.
Something
or
fall back.
Is it faster?
It's you don't have to control it by you can leave.
You
walk
load it
away.
and go. Yeah,
load and go,
and it produces a great cup of coffee. But then you have shops like Peugeot where somebody's dedicated to that pour over bar. That pour over bar is going to slow them down, but somebody's there and maintaining that.
So they're trying
3
to do
or 4
it right. Yeah,
going not at the same time, but back to back to back,
Gotcha.
And if you can have somebody doing that, I think you can control it enough to where it's worth it. And you won't, get a little irked every time a pour over comes through. You know, you'll be all right with it. You know
whose job it is to make that pour over, right?
Exactly.
They're dedicated to it. That's what they do. And they're probably good at it. They're efficient. They're rocking 2 at a time, nonstop, back to back.
Yeah. Blue Bottle's not the only shop that does exclusively pour overs. There's some other ones.
Sure.
And I'm just wondering, do they get used to that?
The expectation.
Do they get used to the expectation that I'm going to order, I'm going to wait, but when it's my time, I'm going to have this magical interaction with the barista. I'm patiently waiting for my turn. When my turn, it's going to be awesome, and then I'm going to leave. Even if it takes a long time, it's worth the wait.
It really depends on the shop and the city also. Tempe, I think, is moving towards that specialty, being okay with some patient waiting for your good cup of coffee, and Phoenix in general might be moving towards that. But, coffee's always been high speed, quick.
Get it to me fast so I can go.
Changing I don't think you're going to change the entire coffee community necessarily, but there is that group, the specialty, Phoenix coffee culture that kind of is slowly starting to adopt that and get accustomed to that.
Now out here in Prescott area, the population is on average much older or significantly older. And folks are typically not in the same hurry.
Right.
I have more time, but the kind of the disapproving approach to specialty is more like, you're making it too fancy. You know what I mean? Just give me that that Folgers.
What I'm used to.
I just want, if my spoon can stand up in it, then that's good for me. There's that kind of mentality or mindset instead of hey, I just want, because really a lot of them have nowhere to go. Like nowhere to go and all day to get there. That is very true. Very true. But still, when they get their coffee, they don't want it so fancy. How would you approach maybe overcoming that way of looking at coffee? Would you start with batch brew, or would you can just work on them until they let you do a pour over for them, or what would your approach be? Would you think?
Sorry to catch up.
That's okay. It was probably better that way.
I think it's up here, and when people have been drinking coffee for 30, 40, 50 years of their life, and they've been used to this just coming out of a, kettle or whatever it is, and not waiting 5 minutes, it's hard to change that mentality, So I would start with batch brew and then just try to educate them. But, that's what a lot of communities around the country are dealing with, is just how do you convert old schools, or even people that their parents are old school and that's all they know at home, to, hey, there's this new world.
Something better.
Something better.
There's something better out there. It's not only better
gone
for
back and forth.
Your taste buds, but it's better for the coffee community at large.
We've gone back and forth because we've thought, well, if you remove the batch altogether, they have no choice. Because if you have the batch, then they're going to kind of gravitate. No, just give me that. I don't, don't bother. I'll take that, right? Because it's ready to go. Yeah. We thought, well, if we get rid of that, but then we're like, well, then they might not show up because they don't want to wait for that. So I don't know what the right answer is.
Maybe put a really, really good cup of coffee on that batch brew, and just one, maybe. like a single origin, and instead of giving them a lot of options, like a blend or a dark
Keep it
roast
simple.
or, this, that, this, where they're always going to choose what they're more comfortable with. But
kind of push them to a little outside their comfort zone.
Sell it as hey, we have a really great single origin Guatemala on drip right now. We think it's really great coffee. I think you're going to enjoy it too. This is what else we have that's maybe on pour over or espresso or things like that
you might,
because that's the challenge too, right?
Similar,
if you're approaching like starting a new shop, like up here, you want to on one hand set the expectation from day one. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is what we love. This is what we're
your
about.
Values, your mission,
exactly, right? Stuff. But then you don't want to alienate too many people and come in, And then on the other hand, you don't want to start off saying, "Well, we'll get people in with this, and then we'll switch
we'll switch it on them."
Right?
Yeah.
And now they're like, "Wait a minute."
And you don't want to try and compete. I don't want to compete with Starbucks, with Dunkin' Donuts, with any of these shops that are already doing.
It's not the point.
Second wave stuff. You know what I mean? Exactly. I want to do what I'm passionate about, and hopefully people will come alongside. They'll see the passion, and they'll be like, "Oh, that sounds great as well. Let me try that. This is something new. This is something different. I didn't know that coffee could be this incredible experience. I'm willing to trust you to go down this road with you." And I think if you hire well, at least in the beginning, maybe, or you just run the shop yourself in the beginning, right? Then people will come alongside you and
see that passion.
Get that. And see the passion and want to be a part of something special,
I've always talked about coffee as being similar to beer or wine in the sense that you have a local brewery or you have a local winery and things like that are making their own. And the community really gravitates toward that is if they
can connect.
If they can connect and if something tastes good, and if they have good people running it. And those are the core values, is how are you going to connect to community? Yeah. And even if your community might not be accepting of it at first, how are you going to show them and guide them towards what you think is good?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because if you think it's good, they're going to think it's good. I mean,
you're absolutely right.
No, you're right. You're done because
if you think it's special, others start to think it's special.
You
too.
Had an experience with coffee at some point.
Yeah,
and said, "Wow, I want to learn more. This was awesome."
And that was based on someone else thinking that it was special and that it was
And they introduced you, and you want to turn around and introduce them, and that's the motivation.
I'm totally with you.
Yeah, and so that's cool. Sure. And I think that's something that we've seen Press doing, and we've enjoyed. Absolutely. We've enjoyed that when we go there.
Absolutely. Press is the only, I don't want to call them a chain, but they have multiple retail locations. They are by far the best coffee shop that I have seen deliver a great product and great service that is very consistent across multiple locations.
Yeah, I would agree.
One of the hardest things to achieve too, know. I mean, you think when you go to California, you see Blue Bottle and you see Intelligentsia and those stores doing those types of things. And I think that isn't very common out here in Arizona.
It's not from Arizona to, past Indiana. The whole middle America is ripe for the pickings for Adam's coffee.
Yeah, the coast definitely have it. First shot here. So, we'll see, but
and that's when places like Fox Business and all these these business entities or journalists look at coffee, they look at that and they say, hey, that is full on the coast.
Yeah, saturated.
Therefore, specialty is saturated. Not thinking, because they just equate the two, like, oh, well, Starbucks is open across the Midwest, open across America. But I think that there is a huge portion of America that has not had the chance to experience it yet.
Yeah.
Another thing that I was shocked by is, I don't know if you're familiar with Jennifer Ferreira's work. She is an author and coffee researcher out of the UK. And she was, digesting some recently released statistics about coffee growing and consumption, producing and consumption. Did you know that 60% of the world's coffee, I think it was 60%, something like it was more, was Arabica versus Robusta? I thought the Robo was number one. I thought more.
Well, I think production-wise.
That's what I'm saying. It has changed.
Has it?
It has changed.
According to her research.
There's
a shift going on.
There's more Arabica being grown right now than Robo. And I had never heard of that before.
Yeah, it's unique.
And so I just think that we're on the cusp of something. I don't know. a big change. I don't think we've tapped out. I don't think
it's just the beginning. There's very little research has been done with coffee, right? A lot more with wine and beer.
Oh yeah.
Well, coffee's kind of
a lot longer.
Exactly. Coffee's kind of catching up still, and I think we're seeing this influx, and those that are willing to keep challenging the status, push it forward, are the ones that will survive. And the ones that just want kind of the old model, even though it works and maybe it works well enough for them, might not be able to grow and keep up with the changing times. So,
and I do think some of that West Coast stuff is kind of saturated right now, but coffee shop on every corner, but there's more people there. There's
That's
more
true.
people to consume it, and I think Phoenix is definitely a city that's catching up.
It's a major metropolis.
Coming around to it, and maybe might be a model for the rest of the country. Some other states that might follow that, or that's not.
It's also Phoenix is spread out.
It is.
I mean, from Gilbert to Anthem, it could take you, an hour and a half to get there. Of course, LA is a huge footprint as well,
right?
And it just keeps expanding and expanding. But I think Phoenix is similar. I'm ready for another hard question for Adam. Are you ready?
Go. Yeah.
All right.
Bring it.
It has to do with barista compensation, to tip or not to tip.
Oh, come on.
There's real conversation out there about it.
And I guess
do you take
I'm going to add a little more,
away?
just like you. No, this is
get on it.
No, this is the kind of the two opposing sides, if you will. One is pay your barista well, and don't worry about tips.
And another one
pay
is
them enough to make a living,
pay them
to the
good
best
money,
of your ability.
And then also there are like profit sharing models where, hey, if the company does well, you've been with us X amount of months, you get Y percentage of the profits. You get to share the financial success.
Correct.
And then on the other hand, we'll pay them just enough, and we'll hope that the service they provide will be rewarded by the tips they receive from customers.
Exactly. And that's kind of the Cat and Cloud has done away with their tip jar.
Yeah. Cat and Cloud.
Yeah.
They do the profit sharing type model.
Exactly. They say, hey, we're gonna pay you what we think you're worth as much as we can, and give you share in the profits.
And if we do well, you do well. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I think Cat and Cloud is a great model for that, because they have a turnover that speaks for itself. That baristas are sticking around because not just because of the pay. For me, it's never been the pay.
Yeah.
I participated in both tips and profit sharing in the past, and the money was fantastic, and it's obviously you need to make money when you work,
right?
But
sure.
It's more about the community of your business and the values that you're sharing with your baristas, and that they are then sharing with their customers, and then how you appreciate them. And I think monetary compensations are a big benefit, but also just different other types of things, like making them feel valuable and making their worth valuable and their time, and then having them.
And everybody's going to do that differently, right? There's one is the monetary compensation, and the other is how do you make me feel like a valued participant or contributor here with the team. Everybody wants to feel kind of important and special, and like they're the go-to guy or gal, or like, hey, we need you at this at bat. We value you, we respect you, we want you, we think much of you. People want that. They don't want to be belittled and picked on and whatnot. So,
and like Mike was saying earlier, there's opportunities. So Press is maybe creating opportunities for baristas to earn more money or to move up in the company or become more valuable.
That's cool.
And that, to me, that would be more valuable than any money that they throw towards me. And I think a lot of businesses talk about, we're going to give you a bonus. If you do this, we're going to give you a bonus. And that bonus is money. But people aren't interested in money all the time. I'm not interested in money. I'd much rather earn something else,
And if that's what it is, it seems to me that there's no amount that is going to pacify them. Like the bank that I worked at before coming back to it with Mike, they gave 2 bonuses every year. One was a Christmas bonus. It was equal to or equivalent to one of your paychecks. And then the second one was in February. And if the last year was profitable, you got a percentage based on how long you've been with the company. You got a percentage of the profits. You got a bonus based on that.
Sure.
And that's all people worked for.
That's it.
They dreaded the days that they had to work. They looked forward to the weekends. And what kept them going was bonus to bonus. Like, yeah, I hate my work. I hate what I do. I hate my life. I hate myself. But I got a big bonus coming up in December, and I got another one in February. You got to at least stick around for the bonus. At least stick around for the bonus. At least stick around for the bonus.
So if I'm hearing you, you're saying that that's not the question to be asking at all. It's not about where does the money come from. That's not what gives the employee worth or value within the company. It's more about the culture. It's more about empowering them, right, in the role they're in to not only succeed in that role, but if they want to succeed in other roles that might interest them. And that, irrespective of...
And to bring greater value to the company.
Ultimately, yeah. And to that, it doesn't matter then if we pay you or if we have a tip model. Now, I don't know if you still think there's a better one that's worked out for you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's tough because like at the press I'm at right now, we don't necessarily earn mega tips. So it's kind of disappointing if you don't.
Yeah.
But if you had a shop where you were earning a lot of tips, I think that's more of just the customer saying thank you.
Yeah.
The business is making money off the cup of coffee, and the consumer is then tipping you because they enjoy your service or they enjoy your knowledge.
Yeah.
And the time that they're spending with you. I'm all for that. You know, I love tipping people just because I want to show them.
It's a way to show gratitude.
Extra gratitude.
Absolutely. That's a good point.
And I think that's an important part of any coffee shop, but if you're up there and, have different business model, and I think Cat and Cloud's profit sharing works great for them, and because they add a lot more value.
It's a great point you just made, though. Did you realize that? He said, from the customer's perspective.
Yeah.
You remove tipping, then you remove a way for them to express gratitude.
Exactly. And that's what I was thinking. But Adam has pointed this out a couple different times throughout our conversation, is that knowing the culture and the customer of where you're setting the shop up at. And I think that's huge because like in Germany, I was born in Germany. Spent most of my, I guess not most of my life.
Germany?
Now. So 14 years there. Yeah, I know. It's weird. But when you go into a restaurant, you cannot tip.
Yeah.
Everything, or I'm sorry, you can't not tip.
Oh.
See, it's factored into the price. Like,
Okay,
let's say you go into Red Lobster with 8 people and they say, hey,
please remove this tip.
8% gratuity added to everything. If you get bad service, guess what? You paid the flat percentage that they're going to charge you. And it's like that everywhere. So it's not like you did something great. It is removed. Like you said, it's removed from there. But even Cat and Cloud, it seems like in California, you'd think that Santa Cruz would be a big, people are accustomed to tipping. So to remove that is almost to change the culture there.
Yeah, but that area is already saturated, and people are grabbing onto that specialty already, and they already have the knowledge that baristas are trying to give to them, and so I think when they go into a shop like that, they are more able to hear what the baristas are saying, whereas like, hey, we don't necessarily take tips here, but we're still going to show you that great experience, and you show us gratitude by just coming back.
Yeah, that's true.
And baristas are necessarily not worried about, impressing every single customer and hoping that they get a tip for that. They already know the money is coming. And then if you build your culture and your company behind that, we're paying you a good amount. And the more you make our business grow, the more you're going to get paid.
Yeah. You had me with a tip jar, and now you've won me the other way. This isn't helping.
Well, I think it's not a simple yes or no.
It's not a simple answer.
Not. It depends on the shop, and it depends on the culture. Right.
Because sometimes as a customer, I feel awkward. Like, I had great service, but maybe I don't want to tip, or I don't have money to tip. Now I feel bad, like I'm not doing what I should be.
Either way, tip or not, I want my customer to have the best experience possible.
There you go.
And I think Cat and Cloud removed it because they don't want to put the pressure on the customer to force the gratitude, a forceful gratitude. They want it to just be there.
Yeah.
And,
it's just part of who we are.
Said, your repeat, what is it?
Business.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, that was the word. Your repeat business is gratitude enough.
Yes, exactly.
I like that. In fact, I think I'm going to take an Adamism and I'm going to put that on a tip jar that's covered and says your return business is gratitude.
Yeah. And then underneath it, but if you really want to, flip it over.
But if you really want to, just That might be pretty cool. So you can do both.
Yeah, exactly. Make them work
Yeah.
if they're absolute. Because you have those customers that you've experienced that like, I can't accept your money. No,
Yeah.
I want to.
Yeah.
Here, take this $5. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Or this $1.
Take this dollar.
Take this $1.
You take this
Go buy a
dollar.
cup of coffee.
It's like $1 doesn't buy me a cup of coffee no more, Grandma.
Yeah, that's usually what it is.
Give me a 10.
Sweet old
Make
ladies
it a
wanting to
10.
tip you.
Yeah, they want to give you $1, and
Well, that was great.
a
That was
dollar
good.
doesn't go as far anymore.
Unfortunately.
What do you think? I think it's only fair and fitting that we talk a little bit about the porch while we're here,
Oh, yeah.
and get your take on what you think about the layout in here, and then also what you would the coffee shops that you visited maybe up here in Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
Is Press opening a shop in Prescott anytime soon? So those are 3 questions for you, Adam.
You know, I guess we'll start with visiting shops up here. I think most of the shops that I enjoy up here are they tie into the culture of Prescott, you know, more laid back, more home vibes and natural vibes. And I really enjoyed Wild Iris. I really enjoy the Porch right now. I think the setup is community based, you know, and meeting people here, meeting people over coffee. And I think it'll work well. You know, only time will tell. But
Sure.
Places like Wild Iris, you know, they have great baked goods, and the inside is fantastic. And they also have the same sort of setup where you go and meet people there. And just like, I mean, coffee brings people together, you know, and that's a big part no matter where you go. And I guess as far as where's Press expanding, you know, they've talked about 12 to 15 stores within the next 3 to 5 years and things like that, and Flagstaff.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, bigger cities like
It's
Tucson,
big.
where Tucson's starting to grow
Yeah, absolutely.
coffee wise as well. You
Have you been down to Tucson?
I've been to Presta, which is fantastic. Yellow Brick is a good roaster that I just found the other day.
I haven't been. I've been to Exo
in
Tucson, and that's it.
it's growing, you know.
I need to get down there
It is.
and experience a little bit
Probably
more
a good
of
market
it.
to be in.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well, you're absolutely right. And I think that's a good point. You know, is it odd if you go to, you know, a town like Prescott and you find a shop that feels transplanted from Gilbert, from Phoenix? You know, this doesn't fit.
From San Francisco.
Yeah, like, you know, I don't know. Sometimes the people here might like the change of pace. You know what I mean? So,
Well, a lot of the retirees are from California, and they are from the coast.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
It's
a lot of people
important
retire
to
here.
know the community that you're in, but also, you know, have your values first.
Yeah.
You know, what do you value? Where do you want to go? What's your mission? I think that is the most important, but also understanding your community and tying in those values from your shop to the community, and making sure you do a good job of that. Because if you don't, nobody's going to show up.
yeah,
You know?
right?
Yeah. You could have the best coffee in the world, but if you don't care about nobody, ain't nobody showing up.
Nope.
But at the same time, you could have the best location and be just warm and fuzzy and everything, but if the coffee is really bad, I don't know. Do you think
You're going to disappoint a lot of
you're
people.
going to disappoint a lot of people because it's
People-
just not it's not on theme with everything else that you do. Like if you put a lot of care into every touch point, every you know, everything that you sit and you touch,
The
and
details,
you talk,
yeah.
all those details are there. But then the coffee is off. It's almost like it's a miss. It's almost it should be something consistent.
Yeah.
It's a
We always
tough
say,
battle, though.
you do you, but you would ultimately be doing it by yourself because nobody would be over there.
It's tough
You might
because you
be.
do see the shops that don't necessarily have that great of coffee, yet somehow they're busy, you
Right.
know, and somehow they get the people in there.
They have the loyals.
You know,
Yeah.
that's just how it
I
is.
think, if you establish regulars, right, a client base,
Exactly.
a customer base, and if you can do that, you know, you can even with poor coffee. I mean, I've been to shops that have tasted very, very bad coffee, and I wonder how these places are still in business. But then I'm also secretly, and maybe I shouldn't be, maybe I shouldn't confess this right now, but like there's a shop that I visited in Colorado Springs. The coffee was not very good and the service was bad. And I just saw that they closed and I was inwardly happy because I'm like, you know what? You gave me bad coffee. You gave me bad service. The market works. I'm just encouraged by that because I'm like, you shouldn't be in business, not with your bad service and your bad coffee.
Let those who care take the spot.
Yeah. Let somebody else who's actually going to care about their customers and care about their coffee get in there and serve that community. Am I wrong with that?
No, not at all. I see I just realized this the other day, and it made me want to like kind of go work at other coffee shops and just show them, almost be like a consultant and show them the, you know, a good path to go take. But what it is like a coffee shop can be busy, you know, it can have good regulars and maybe the coffee's not up to par. Well, if you're a business, you want to maximize your potential, maximize your profits, your growth. And if you're missing one of those components, that's going to affect it.
Sure.
You know, so maybe you are busy. Maybe you have a great spot, great location. People love to meet there. Well, why not make your coffee better?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's only going to
holding you
improve your
back.
profits.
Yeah.
You know, it's only going to improve your growth, improve your customer base, make you busier. So you can have those things. But if you're a business, your goal is to grow. And in that sense, like, why not make your coffee better?
Yeah. Speaking of great coffee, have you ever had white coffee?
No.
I've never heard of this this
I mean,
elusive white coffee.
The white coffee?
Maybe.
No.
We've only
I've heard of it.
We've had it. I've had
Did
it
you have
twice.
it again?
No, I had it down.
Yeah.
I've had it twice. Yeah.
We're gonna shut the place down. I have a closing question when we're ready for Adam.
Yeah. You know what? Yes. Should I go? Because they're closing. I was gonna go order something to go real quick.
You want to order something to go?
Yeah, for the missus. The missus wants a mocha.
Okay.
Maybe Adam can talk about mocha syrup versus ganache. Have you ever had that?
Well, I want to get the brew tip. I want to get Adam.
That's where you should have gone. What do you do at home?
I
We don't
was
have
trying to
enough time
and
for
you're
this.
talking about you're pulling out your wallet and you're ready to cut us.
Sorry. Do you want anything? I'm
Talking about
order real quick.
mochas and then, come on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay. Well, do you want us to keep going or are we waiting?
Yeah, no. Keep going.
Okay, good.
Keep going.
I've always dreamed of this moment. Yeah, go. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
So what do you what is your brew tip for the audience? What would you say?
You know, I go all over the place. I like to stay more traditional, like the 202 to 206, you know, all that in my pour overs. But when it comes to like AeroPress, that's where I really start to mess around at like different ratios, low brew temps.
Sure.
My goal in coffee is to just control variables and make the best product with human error. Yeah. You know, so
minimize
I try to minimize my human error
gotcha.
with controlled variables, you know, and make a best cup of coffee possible. But
what's your go-to then on the AeroPress to do that?
I can't give away my secrets.
You haven't seen, okay.
No, I do like
ballpark it.
I do like 17.5 grams in.
Okay.
At like medium fine. Yeah. And I'll do the full 200, 220 all the way.
Fill it up.
Fill it up. I like to do just a 50 gram bloom. Yeah. For 30 seconds, and I fill it all the way up.
Are you doing inverted?
Yeah, inverted. Okay, I'll start from the beginning. Yeah, inverted, 17.5 grams in, medium fine.
We're getting it out of them, don't worry.
50 grams, bloom, 30 seconds.
Okay.
Fill it all the way to the top to about 220 grams total. Sure. Stir it. Okay. Put the lid on, minute 45, press. But this is just normal 20, you know, your hot water temp, 206, 205. Perfect. Any of that'll do. Yeah. Now, do you keep it at that, or do you dilute it? Do you add water after? Oh, yeah. So I add 100 grams of water afterwards. So you're coming in at about, 220, 230 total? Yeah. No, like... Or excuse me, 320. 320 total. It's funky, but it's good. No, that sounds good. That's close to what I like to do. Right when I discovered AeroPress, I went on this kick where I did it every single day for about 2 months. Yeah. And this was the recipe that I had dialed in, and... It was funky and it was weird, but it made a great cup of coffee. It does. So about that 220, minute 45, and then press it, add 100 grams. Yeah, nice. I think it's pretty good. That's kind of what I like to do. It's a little rich. What I do now, no, it is, and I like a rich cup. I do 22, a little less water. I'm lucky if I get 200. Sometimes I have to fight with it a little bit, depending on how active it is. Oh, that's true. And then I'll add an additional like 130. So I come in at about 330 with 22. So I'm even a little stronger. Yeah, you are. I've done the 22. It depends on the coffee. If it's like an Ethiopian, I really like it at 18 or something. There you go. To experience it all. But if I really want to make it thick, a little more body. Yeah, a little more body. I'll go to the 20. I've done that. Now, do you use paper filters only, or do you ever go with the metal? So, I think the metal mesh one is on my wish list right now. Yeah, yeah. Haven't invested in it yet. Yeah, it does. Yeah, but paper does fine for me. I like to. Obviously, wash it first. Yeah, rinse it. Yeah, rinse it and be ready. Do you ever double them up? You ever tried that? I've tried that. Didn't like it that much. Didn't care for it? No.
They say it's supposed to make it a little bit cleaner. Kind of like the Chemex where there's 3 paper filters on one side, filter it a little bit more.
See, now you're getting me a little more excited because I haven't been doing AeroPress as much as I used to.
Yeah.
So, but there's, when you see the World AeroPress Championships come out and these guys are brewing it low temps and all these crazy methods, and it just gets you more excited. So.
It sure does. Well, that's a great tip. I think that sounds like a nice ratio and a nice pocket to be in. So thanks for...
It's pretty similar, though, ours.
Yeah, it is. Well, thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. Nobody will steal it, I promise.
Only every subscriber here.
Oh, only everyone listen. No, they should go try it because that's what it's about, right?
No, it's all about finding your own. That's why they have the World
And each
AeroPress
coffee's going to tell you.
and things like that, and each coffee's different.
Exactly.
I would not brew every coffee the same on AeroPress.
And then the grind is such a challenging thing to communicate. Oh, yeah. You really have to work on that yourself. Oh, wait, he's okay.
And he's back.
I'm back.
Just in time. We're done.
I think Gabby's eyes are glossed over. She's like, can we please be done geeking out about coffee?
It's like they're closing. Time to go.
Let's get out of here.
That's her saving grace.
Let's get out of here. Well, I ordered, 2 more drinks. So I figured that's good to go.
Yeah. You paid for us to be here.
Exactly.
Good job. Nice.
Exactly.
You bought the space.
Exactly. I think there is a cost of admission. Like if you're going to go into a coffee shop and you're going to sit down. Did you guys already talk about this?
No.
Okay.
But I need to reset if we're going to keep going.
Outlets here, right? Okay. You go reset. And I'm going to ask Adam about outlets. Outlets or no outlets. So like some coffee shops, right? They're like, we good?
Yep.
They're like, we don't want to have outlets. We want to spur on the community and conversation. But other places are like, this is like a co-working space. You come in here, people write from here. They write novels. They do things. We want to give them outlets. They typically will pay the price for the cost of admission, the price of admission, right? To show up and to, buy a cup of coffee for me to occupy the seat. So what are your thoughts on that?
There's this really great shop in Tempe called Kingdom. It's a bike cafe. They build their base. They have fixie bikes that they build, and they serve press coffee. I go there all the time just to hang out, for community, to meet friends, but also to study. They did a really great job of interior design where they created a space that was, specific for studying, specific for people that need outlets, maybe lamps, want to focus. But they also built spaces that were to converse and to maybe avoid distractions.
Nice. So they have
things
both.
Like that.
So you have one spot now.
That's
so cool.
And it goes back to your culture and what you want to your customers to perceive your coffee shop as.
Adam seems to have the answer for everything.
No, I definitely do not. I just have opinions.
Yeah.
Well, opinions turn into answers.
That's right. That's right.
That is key. We might have to have more conversations as we progress, and as you become a green buyer and somebody that we'll
keep in touch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll need that. So
absolutely. Yeah. Wow.
I'm excited to try this. The Ethiopian.
I'm a little nervous now. But I think it'll stand up to the test that it's going to face.
Yeah. Well, of course, honest feedback. We want. I think you've got a palette
that's back, and then maybe communicate that.
Let's see what
to the viewers.
But you did dig the packaging away.
Yeah, the box is awesome.
The boxes and things. Okay, so that's good.
Third wave water inside.
Okay, so you passed.
Yeah, so I passed.
So the things you're responsible for in this little partnership is good.
The marketing.
Yes.
Now it's
marketing guru Jake over here.
Yes, the marketing and the branding. Those are the things that I'm passionate about.
But it's in a pretty bag, right?
Yeah.
Enough about the coffee, but did you like the Ziploc on the top? That's all that matters. We sealed in the you might not like that freshness, but we sealed it in good for you.
Exactly. Well, we'll see. I haven't passed the test yet because we'll see with this new setup, recording with a new mixer, and we'll see how it comes out. Yeah. You're responsible for that as well.
Yeah. If we even get a podcast.
If we even get a podcast.
Wasted an hour of time.
You just publish the holder on iTunes. This was the podcast with Adam.
But imagine a podcast. That happened.
Yeah.
We'll get a little soundbite of you.
I gotta say, just in closing real quick, that I was expecting to just kind of hang out and have a good time. I didn't realize how much I was going to learn from the conversation with you, Adam. No. I think it's very obvious. I think Mike will agree that you have a lot of wisdom and a lot of coffee knowledge, and I just want to thank you for your time and coming up and sharing it with our community, like the 2 or 3 people that listen.
Yeah, maybe we're up to 6 now.
Hey, we might be up to 6.
6
We might be
regulars.
up to 6.
After this,
6 or
7.
Yeah, yeah, we'll get all of Adam's family on there.
This has been awesome, guys. I enjoy talking about coffee, and I think there's a lot of people out there that do too, and they have all this knowledge and they have all their opinions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's good for those voices to be heard.
Sure.
So
yeah, that's it. Well, thanks for coming up. Thanks for spending time with us, and
thank you.
We'll have to have you back after some time and catch up.
Maybe we need to go podcast on location. At Press.
Oh, yeah. We've talked about that.
We've talked about it. We've never done it.
Now
maybe we're going to come see you, Adam, sometime when it's convenient. We're going to drive down
couch,
to see
right?
you.
I got 2 couches.
He's got 2
perfect.
couches.
Oh, so we're going to his house instead of his...
Well, I thought that's where you were going with it.
No, you made it weird again.
I mean, sleep on my couch.
He went with it. He's like, yeah, I got 2. They're in the garage, but I've got 2.
That's perfect.
I like the idea of that.
All right.
Sweet.
Let's
that
do
would
it.
Transplant podcasts around the valley and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh, we
Pop-up
should do
podcast.
videos, and Adam could take us to some of the different places. We'll just do like videos like, okay, well, we've been to Press. We've podcasted from Press. Perfect. What about other spots that Adam likes? Because he knows the Phoenix coffee culture a lot better than we do. We can do some more video. We should do that. We should go.
It's endless.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
It's great.
All right.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Until next time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time.
All right.
Bye.
Peace out.
Are you signing off?
I was trying to. Well, do you want me to stop it or no? Do you want to keep talking?
Do you need that silence to clean up the audio?
Nope, no silence to clean up any audio here. Thank you again, Adam, for coming up and joining us for this podcast. Hope you all enjoyed it. The links to everything that we talked about are in the show notes. orangecactuscoffee.com/episode 98. That's 98. And I was very greatly relieved to discover that the audio was just fine. There was some background noise, but that happens when you're in a busy coffee shop, right? We don't want any silence. We don't need any silence. So appreciate you hanging out with us. Appreciate you kicking it. And we will talk to you again later.